Hey up, everyone. Bienvenidos, chicos, chicas. This is Mark, your friendly neighborhood GM from New Zealand, welcoming you to another episode of Nine Lives, Death and Glory, our 5e Dungeons and Dragons adventure with Gretel, Silver, Takata, and Epo. This time, they're off to try and find gainful employment at Syphax the slave trader's decadent mansion on Moonshine Parade. Let's see if they get the job, or will they be sacked? On we go. 9 lives, death and glory. Action. How you doing, Craig, this week? How do I sound? Do I sound distorted or normal yet?
You're normal.
Normal.
So, you guys, Gretel, Silver, Takata, and Epo can leave the mayor's offices, the town hall, the city hall now. And as you go, you get slipped his business card. And he looks to see whether anyone wants to give him a business card as well.
I'll slip him back a business card.
I imagine he might have Silver's already. What do you think, Raymond?
Yeah, I was going to say, the mayor probably already has mine.
Yep, well, the mayor makes a point of looking at Epo's business card, and he gives a little nod to Epo, and you see him slip it into his pocket. As you leave the city hall, going outside, you can see quite a fuss as two people come in, and overhearing the gossip going on, you can see that there are people from newspapers. There's a well-known reporter from the Portree Siren called Flash Harold, and he's following in the Deputy Mayor Hilden Irville and this very rich man that you've heard of before, Barabbas Lafleur, who the mayor said was going to be auditing the Portree finances, which worried the mayor quite a little bit. You don't actually have the chance to stop and talk to them, but you do get the chance to eyeball them.
Okay.
So you certainly would recognize them if you haven't seen them before. I would imagine, having been around here for a while, that Silver may well have seen Hilden Irville before.
Yep, and Silver does not like Hilden.
No, Hilden is an ambitious woman, and she is a very frustrated woman. And the reason that she has this second part to her character is because of the mayor keeping standing for office again and again and again. So she is a long-serving deputy, and she's clearly curried favour in most parts of the city. The journalists are quickly ushered out. You're on the street, and I know that you need to go and see Syphax about jobs. Is there anything else you want to do now? You've got some downtime available potentially. Probably not long before you've got this appointment at the slave trader.
No, I want to do all my downtime. I take a while to do.
All right. All trucking along to Syphax's?
Most likely, yeah.
Sure. And Greg is well behaved outside. He's getting quite a little bit of attention, and he seems to be attracting children in particular who play games of chicken. Not that they dare touch Greg, but you can see these children daring each other, egging each other on to go as closer to Greg than anyone has been before.
I see this, and I look over at the children, and I carefully like short ones.
He hasn't gone after you yet.
In fact, the children take a bit of interest in all of you because none of you are dull by any means. Epo with Greg, not even the smell of the oil that I'm not sure if it's washed back onto Epo yet. Takata may be mysterious, but that still tends to pique the curiosity. Big dragonborn like Silver, I don't know whether it's his cooking reputation that's following him, or maybe they can just sniff the scent of those cookies on the breeze.
Probably the reputation.
And as for Gretel, these children have never seen a goblin as tall as Gretel before.
And dressed as fine.
And dressed as finely. And is the fox with you as well?
Yes.
You can
My fox is
tell
practically always with me.
The children, eventually take just as big an interest in Blizzard as they do in Greg, for quite different reasons, and they don't play chicken with Blizzard. But you guys are beginning to become minor celebrities in Portree.
Seeing the kids play, get interested in Blizzard, I look over at him and go on. I know you want to. And then
I'm gonna be that old man that's shooing them away from Greg.
and I'm gonna let Blizzard jump off my shoulder and transform into a pure white panther.
I think I want dice rolls, please. Intimidation from Epo, even if he's not meaning it meanly.
Okay.
They go away from Greg a bit reluctantly, but when they see the look in Epo's eyes and the crease on his brow, they soon clear away towards Silver and Blizzard. I think that you probably want performance from Silver, don't you? Sorry, I should have said that was a 16 for intimidation for Epo, not fierce intimidation, but...
So, 16.
Yeah, you got a 16, Hugh, and let's see what Raymond gets for him. He gets 24. How did you get 24, mate? How did you get 24?
Plus 9 to performance.
Plus 9. Gosh, I can expect some big things from you. The children soon start asking for autographs and paw prints.
I autograph some kids' books and stuff, or whatever they offer to autograph, since I always have a pen with me. And then I put a little ink on the now Panther's paw, and just have him do it wherever the kid wants.
Butter wouldn't melt in your mouth as far as they're concerned. It might melt in your frying pan, but not in your mouth. I've got to get 2 more rolls, 2 more skill checks out of you guys. And I think with Takata, I think it probably should just be stealth so that Takata doesn't attract too much attention.
Yeah.
This is really everybody, just so we can practice calling out our dice rolls.
10.
How do you explain that, Sol? What does Takata do so that he, even in such illustrious company as Epo and Greg and Silver and Blizzard, how is it that Takata still attracts some glances?
Well, he's the guy standing in the back while everyone else is doing something, so he just attracts attention because he's the one being the mysterious weirdo in the hood while Silver's and his panda right now are interacting with the children, and Ipo's being intentionally intimidating and all this other stuff, and Greckle's being tall, and then there's Takata in the back just being weird in comparison.
I think it's unfortunate that there are so many children in Portree in the centre who are attracted to mysterious weirdos. Next time, you can demand of me in these circumstances that you roll at advantage, given the impressive demeanour of everyone else. As for Greckle, I think it should just be sheer charisma, a straight charisma check.
You know what Greckle is going to be while this is going on? He's actually going to take out 3 of his daggers and start to juggle them.
Ooh. Go on, what would you go for that? Sleight of hand, straight dexterity, acrobatics? Performance, okay. I was on the right track to start with, thinking it should be charisma-based.
That's a 22.
22. One of the boys says to a girl nearby, "It was your birthday yesterday, wasn't it? Have you still got any money yet?" And she says, "I've got a little bit left." Why? And he says, "Go and give the goblin some money. He's good." And you collect 2 silver coins.
Well, I think them. Thank you, little.
I just tell the kids as they walk away, I'm like, "You shouldn't trust goblins with money. Bad idea."
The 3 children go running away and hide behind their mother's aprons. Okay, you go down the street and you're looking for Moonshine Parade. That's where Syphax lives. It's one of the nicest, most expensive streets to live on in Portree. And this slave trader, actually, he doesn't even live here most of the year. I think that he only stays long enough to get a tax break because he's not a full-time resident. But on the other hand, the business he brings to the city, I think they give him other perks. Do you remember the colours that Syphax likes?
The red and what?
Christmas man is Syphax, red and green.
Red and green.
Yeah, you see Syphax's colours outside. Bunting is up. Syphax looks as though he is celebrating something.
Oh.
Does it look like I fit right in since everything around here is fancy? obviously Ipo's extremely fancy.
Approaching the front door?
Yes.
Yes.
I think Greco would be gone first, though.
Yeah, I'll walk up. Is the dwarf guards still
Yeah, they
in
are.
the front? Okay.
Yeah, they haven't got any taller. You don't have to worry.
Wonderful. I'm not intimidated by them at all.
They're broader than they were before, slightly broader, these ones today.
Okay, I will approach them and hello, dwarf guards. It is me again, Michael Grump, the world's tallest goblin. Here, my friends, we are here to see Rhubarb and his atrium.
Mate, you come on a good day. The boss is in a good mood. And
Josh is here.
Yeah, he's here. He says he's out in the garden at the back.
Wonderful. We're looking. The little gnome Rhubarb guy said that we could come by and ask for some possible work. So if he's in a good mood, it's probably a good time for us.
Got your ears, mate. And he bangs a gong. A gong. And the little gnome, the finance guy for Syphax, Runcible, comes trotting out to meet you. When he sees you there, he claps his hands in delight and he says, "Come on, quick, follow me. Time is right. If you want work, today's the day. And bring your pet with you," he says to both Silver and to Epo.
I've had deals with Dunstable before, and I'm not sure if he would like me too much, though.
He seems to be at least feigning goodwill towards you today.
Yeah.
So
Shall we go?
Yes, we follow him.
Okay, and you go out to the back garden, which is opulent. It is such a well-manicured garden. There are tropical plants. There's a winter's garden. There's the equivalent of Japanese garden. There are 3 points to his garden, and in the middle, under a marquee, sheltered from the sun, sits the slave trader, and he is surrounded by young people, and he's in the middle of pontificating.
We're going to take Runcible's lead here, just kind of follow him, and see if he introduces us or has us wait or whatever.
So Runcible leads you forward. Hasn't got any qualms at all about Greg coming forward. And you can see that these young people around Syphax are absolutely entranced. They're almost in rapture as they listen to the man speak. And you can glean fairly quickly that they are students from an academy, and Syphax is giving them a business lecture. And Runcible stands back, his hands behind his back, clasped at the wrist, and he whispers to Greckle, "He's just winding up. Let's just wait, and please give a loud round of applause when he finishes."
Okay, I nod to Runcible. I look to, I guess, my right, who's ever on right, maybe it's Ole, and I say, "They're finishing up, and we have to clap afterwards. Pass it on."
You said enough. Here, Syphax, come to the end of his speech, come to the end of his lecture, and the students start applauding warmly and politely, and you can see Runcible raising his arms, flapping them upwards, palms up, trying to conduct you like an orchestra.
I mimic Runcible.
And he's looking to Epo now, and he sort of points at Greg and says, get him to roar approval."
I don't think you'd want him to do that, but sure. Greg roars.
What's Greg's roar like? Is it really loud?
I imagine it would be pretty loud.
Yeah, okay.
Probably it wouldn't sound anything like a normal lion's roar.
Does Greg roar in a monotone, or does he have a range of sounds?
Depends if I've done that or not. We haven't done it yet. It'd probably be something like, maybe it'd be more like a instrument sound.
The sound of Greg coupled with what the rest of you do. I imagine that Silver would make quite a noise as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And probably the main sound we ever get from Takata is the sound of his imping.
Yeah, Takata just claps. That's it.
Okay.
I just tell Greg to roar. I don't actually clap myself.
You don't need to. You don't need to. You add to the cacophony of sound, and it encourages the students, and you can see the smile of satisfaction on Syphax's face. And soon enough for you at any rate, the students depart, and Syphax's eyes turn towards, what shall I say, the 6 of you? I think I've got the number right, haven't I? And he eyes you shrewdly, and then he beckons you to him, and he gestures to the ground and spreads his arms to indicate you should seat round him. Seat yourselves round him.
Okay, Greco will move forward and take a seat.
I will do the same.
Sakura will too.
Silver joining in?
Yep, Silver's joining in with Blizzard still in his panther form, and just curls up on his lap, acting like a small animal when he's actually a medium-sized panther.
Syphax takes this in and he smiles and nods. He looks at Epo and he licks his lips. And he turns to Greco and he says, "Well, what a little clutch you brought me. Tell me,
Yes.
am I mistaken? Can I be confident of why you're here?"
Well, I was talking with your gnome rhubarb here. He said that you might be looking for more work, for our people to help work for you. And so I've met these fine people right here, and I gestured to everybody else, and brought them along so we all can get a job.
I'm hiring today. Well, I think this could go very well for everyone, don't you, Rhubarb? And Runcible just smiles, gritting his teeth a little bit and nods. Syphax turns back to Greco and says, "Oh, hey, do you people have sea legs?"
Yeah, I do. I was raised by the sea myself.
Excellent. Tell me about your nautical career, sir.
The what? Sorry, my panther.
Tell me about your nautical career. Tell me what you've been up to. Escapades, I'll be bound.
Yeah. It was 5 years ago where me and my crew, the Frostfang ship, traveled the seas and trying to get rid of pirates. I was the chef of that brave ship, and we spent years taking down pirates until one day a pirate ship took us down. I was the only one who survived of that ship, sadly. But I ain't afraid to go back on the sea.
And now he makes pies.
Pies? How about a rhubarb pie? And he chuckles, looking at the gnome. He says, Runcible, I'm very happy that this fellow's come here. Mr. Frostfang, I think I heard from Runcible your name is.
Silver.
I want you aboard. The Armadillo. What say you? You ready to sign up?
Wholeheartedly.
That's good enough for me. And you, Mr. What's your name? He looks at Greco.
Greco Grump, the world's tallest goblin.
Mr. Grout. Been on the ocean before? Can
Never.
your stomach cope when the waves are heaving and your stomach wants to join them?
Absolutely no idea, but it sounds fun.
Hey, been afloat before?
You know what I look forward to before Rhubarb here was saying that to walk around, but it seems like if I'm on a boat, I do mostly standing, which is what I'm really good at.
You don't mind taking guard on the prow?
I'm excellent with my bow. I learned it from
Sounds a
best.
good position. It seems to me that we have a chef who doesn't mind dealing with pirates, and we have a prow bowman. I like it. This mission that I've got in mind shouldn't be dangerous at all. Shouldn't be. I'm not expecting anything other than big profits. Ha! You like the sound of that? And he looks at Epo.
Indeed.
What about
You should already be
then?
aware of my services, though.
What about you? Do you have any experience that would suggest your lion there wouldn't rust?
I should be able to deal with that quite easily.
You sure? I'm not going to insure the beast.
I've got a few ideas. See, tinkering's my specialty, as you would already know.
Yeah,
And,
I do.
Although I haven't exactly been on the sea before.
Have you ever done any work with cannons?
I've heard of them, and I'm intrigued.
Cannon.
Hey,
And
a friend
Silver's
knows
just
a thing or two about...
And Silver's just going to look off into the distance with a giant smile on his face while petting his panther.
I think you could do some splendid work with our cannons. Not that they're going to be necessary, but it doesn't do any harm at all when you come into a port to give an impressive full gun salute. Used wizards before for that sort of thing. Don't come cheap enough. Not enough profit in it. Do you think you can handle the queasiness?
Well, that won't be a problem.
Glad to hear you say it. I like someone who can vouch for himself. Then he looks across at Takata and he says to Runcible, what do you think's best with this one? Widen my mouth and exaggerate my mouth movements as I speak, or are you going to write down what I say and pass him notes? So he starts speaking with an exaggeratedly open mouth as he looks at Takata and he says to Takata, what do you think you could offer on a seagoing voyage?
Takata moves his hands, and in minor illusion, words flash before him, and he says, not discrimination, like you're being.
Discrimination? Is that some sort of new spell from foreign climes that none of me wizards have thought to tell me about? I like that, discrimination. Good spell by the sound of it. Make a note of that, Runcible.
Sir, discrimination is when you treat people less than...
I know what it is. I was pulling your leg, fella. So again, I was pulling your leg, fella. It's just a little joke.
Sure.
What are you saying? Are you disapproving of my trade?
I disapprove of people who act like that. Who think that they should just...
At this point, Ipo's just shaking his head.
I disapprove of people who talk to me slower just because they think I'm lesser than them just because of a disability.
Didn't say it as a disability. You read me wrong. I thought I was doing you a courtesy, but okay, no problem at all. Normal it shall be. Are you wanting to ask me any other questions? Well. I like the...
What are we going to be doing?
Pardon me, I'm a trifle here. Say again.
What are we going to be doing? What is this mission thing? And how much are we going to be paid?
Which question would you all like me to answer first?
The first one.
Good place to start. Well, you know my business, don't you?
Finding lost people.
I deal in slaves.
Oh, yeah, social.
They could be lost and I'll find them, but I tell you, I work within the spirit of this city's laws. You understand?
Sure, yes. Yes, sir.
Right, so you might have questions to ask about the more exotic slaves I bring in from overseas, yes?
Well, yes, I actually have a question here, then. My understanding, I'm new here. So I understand that Portree is a place that if people do bad things, they get caught by the guards and then they become slaves. So what is this going to foreign lands and getting slaves? Because Portree is not in charge of the judicial system in those countries.
Do you know some of the major benefits to Portree and having this system?
Free labor.
One. What else?
Yeah, something for the bad guys to do.
Something for the bad guy. Mr. Ipo, I expect you can see there's some coin in it for everyone, can't you?
Indeed.
What do you think this does for Portree? Do you think they spend much money on prison guards, prison food,
I would say they
accommodation?
would.
Yeah, you're damn right, sir. Damn right. What about these other places that don't have a rod of obeisance? Think they're happy with that?
I go to like speak, and then I think, nah, no. Probably already realizes.
They're pretty damn quick to want to offload some of their prisoners onto Portree if they'll take them. Win,
But
win, win. Win, 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 I say.
But we were in the arena yesterday when the rod in the basement fell in the fire.
They'll deal with it, won't they? They'll think of something. It's going to be a win for someone. I don't think that Portree's going to be the loser. Probably more money in it for me for a little while. How many temples are there in this city? Someone's got to be able to make something else again that'll do the job.
From what I've been inquiring, they're a bit stubborn.
Poor. You been in any city where you haven't found that with the officials? Anyway, look.
They're a bit tight-lipped about secrets, but eventually people die, and those secrets disappear. So who knows if they can even make another one?
Interesting, I'd say. Interesting. I hope I live long enough to find out, eh? What about you?
I'll probably live long enough.
Well, I again wish you well. So, have I answered question number 1, Mr. Greckle?
That seems to be number 1, yes. How
I
about
also
number
have
2?
a question.
That's number 3. I'm first.
Yours was contract terms, yeah.
Exactly.
Crew members, 3-month voyage, got a choice. 150 up front, 150 when you get back. Or you get a share of the gross profits.
Hmm.
How about we get some up front and a share?
Take the surefire money, or you can spin the wheel, like me.
And so 300 if everything goes well. That is if, up front on the way back. Yes, and how much is an average, profit of your work for a ship like this size?
Oh, I think you should ask the money man, not me, eh, Runcybald? So the gnome steps forward and he coughs. Well, we aim at, on a voyage like this, we aim at a gross profit of around 100,000. And the way it works, because Mr. Syphax here has all the expenses to bear, because we're talking about the gross profit, not the net profit. 10% goes to the officers and 10% goes to the crew.
And how many crew? I mean, let's give me
the ship, the Armadillo, 5 officers and 20 crew members.
Well, I feel like they're selling their profits a bit short. Because I imagine they would also make some other trade along the way.
But you're not telling him that, are you?
Like spice. No, but I'm just like thinking, can I have a roll to check?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We'll come out being Syphax now, and you can throw in anything else you want to. And I appreciate that both Sol and Raymond are a little bit unwell today, so that's why 3 voices are dominating. If I can put it that way. I know mine always does, and I apologise. Anyway, go on, Hugh. What do you want to say?
I essentially just want to make like an insight check to see if they're selling their profit short. Because I imagine that they would also be making other trade along the way. Maybe like linens, fine furs, stuff like that, spices. I imagine if they're making a sea voyage, that they would be doing that along the way. Because that's normally a surefire way to make profit.
Yeah, you can make it roll away your insight check.
10.
Let's just say you suspect, but there's nothing about the pair of them that is going to make you feel so confident. And you could still voice your opinion if you want to, but they're better than average at masking their feelings, their thoughts.
Hey, Greckle is going to raise his hand and wait.
Syphax looks around, see what Greckle wants to say.
Yes, sure. I just got a question about, the normal work and stuff. That's fine. I can stand up and with my bow and guard. I used to do that a lot with the circus. But sometimes other things happen along the way. Things that are not quite planned for. And so my question is if any kind of unforeseen things happen, could there possibly be some kind of a compensation for that? Are we expected to do more than our specific jobs? And I point to Silver, and I say like him cooking, or just smelly guy that fixes the cannons or something like that, or Fuzzy there being mysterious and scaring people.
Specific jobs, I tell you about them. That's a fair question. If there is any trouble, if anyone tries to cheat my business, you fight for my money and you fight for yours. You get paid up front if that's what you choose, but you still stand to get paid more again if you get back alive. That's one incentive. And some of the crew, some of them, they will just certainly be going for the guaranteed pay. But if you're on a percentage, I think you've got a stake in my business.
Yeah, Greg kind of nods to that and looks towards the others.
So
I'm going
to ask what I could do with my wagon, how big the ship is, and how much cargo it holds. What I could do with my wagon. I can't just leave it in the middle of the street.
I think with your connections, you could certainly get it looked after safely.
Okay. How big would the ship be?
I don't know enough about ships to give you a number of feet, but we could look up online pretty easily the sort of size ship that would have a crew of, including the officers, of around about 25. I imagine this to be a 2-mast vessel, and although the crew is 25, I think that's a decent number to work sails and do repairs and the various other tasks that, whether it's weighing anchor, coming in on rowing boats, all those sorts of things.
But Ipo's just going to ask for a room to his own with equipment in it that he can use for repairs, because he isn't just proficient in one thing. He could probably do quite a bit. He's going to ask for a room of his own with like toolkits, stuff like that. Supplies he could fix the ship with just in case it gets damaged. Extra feet, depending on what happens.
While you're finding out about that, which you don't have to do directly from Syphax, but I'm going to answer a question in a moment. It's you can see that Silver is having a conversation with Tarkata, reminiscing about his days at sea, and the two of them are not engaged directly in the conversation or questioning of Syphax like Ipo and Grekel. But it's no problem, actually, because the ship does have plenty of hold space, because it does bring back goods as well as slaves, and no one knows exactly how much room is going to be needed for the convicts to be brought back. So it's easy to give Ipo the space he wants.
Okay.
Not perhaps big enough to take your wagon with you, but certainly enough for you and Greg and to do repairs. Sorry, Sol.
Like I said, I'm a little off my game today, unfortunately. So what does I heard a lot of it, I think, but what does everything Syphax expect of us exactly in this job?
Right, let me see if I can summarize. Unless do you want to say what you've heard, Hugh, for Grekel?
Yeah. So Syphax was offering us to kind of guard the ship or work different jobs. So like Takara, he would probably be more or less like a mage kind of guard for the ship. I would be doing more of the mundane kind of guarding. Ipo repairing and maybe modifying the cannons and other things, and Silver being his usual chef self, but also I guess probably pretty handy on the boat itself. And we just help make the ship transport the goods, which happen to be saves. So we're going on a 3-month, was it, Mark?
Yeah, he spoke about 3 months. And I don't know, expect to be a decent daily wage. I mean, you'd obviously have living expenses. But I think if you get paid, if you accepted the 150 up front, which is quite generous terms, and then the same on return. It's probably more than most people would be able to clear, given the fact you get board and lodging as well, working in Portree. I'm not saying there aren't better jobs, but I think that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And I think if there was 10,000 gold share of gross profit to split amongst 20 people, that sounds like 500 a head. So in terms of duties, he expects you to defend the ship if necessary. He expects you to pitch in and maintain the ship as necessary. There are some specific duties for some people, but also dealing with the sails, the rigging, those sorts of jobs. If anyone wants to say, I can't do X, Y, and Z, that's probably negotiable, I would say. And then there's the matter of the convicts. They've got to be obtained. They've got to be put on the ship without them escaping, without them rioting. And once they're on the ship, they've got to be kept secured and they've got to be kept alive and healthy. And I guess there'd be a lot more cooking, and maybe Silver would need help with food preparation and so on then. So, that's what I can see being part of such a voyage. But, we may well unearth other things.
Okay. I do really appreciate you guys repeating that for me. Thank you.
No problem at all. And given the fact that two of you are a bit out of sorts today, what I'm a little bit inclined to do is I'm going to tell Craig to just leave now for the moment.
I'm also a bit sick, but I may not sound it.
Let's leave them there and let them try to recover. I'm sure they will. I hope you enjoyed their encounter with Syphax. Next, we're on to a dinner at Lugosi's restaurant beneath the flat that Silver Frostfang rents, where they're going to have lots of conversation with an elven woman called Marjan. Anyway, this is Mark, your friendly neighborhood GM from New Zealand, signing off now. Goodbye from 9 Lives, Death and Glory, and please do tune in to the next exciting episode. Ciao.